William H. Macy is one of the most outstanding actors in Hollywood. With a career spanning more than 5 decades and memorable roles both on screen and on stage, he has received 2 Emmy Awards for outstanding performances in television series, along with 4 SAG Awards, affirming his perfect ability to transform into many different characters. Not only that, Macy was also nominated for the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor for his role as Jerry Lundegaard in Fargo, a role that has become a symbol of tension, subtlety, and psychological complexity. The films he has appeared in, such as Boogie Nights, Magnolia, The Cooler, have all left an indelible impression on audiences and critics, proving his determination and relentless effort in the acting profession. Macy stands out for his ability to portray ordinary characters, but with complex inner worlds, making viewers feel every emotion, every pain, and every hope of the character. Besides the screen, he is also a founding member of the Atlantic Theater Company, contributing to training many generations of young actors, demonstrating his long-lasting influence in the industry. Macy's career is not only about awards or classic roles, but also a testament to a persistent journey of continuous learning, challenging himself, and pushing beyond all professional limits. But behind that spotlight is a life that has not been easy at all. Macy's childhood lacked affection and encouragement, a normal family but with little connection, making him have to become independent from a very early age. He went through years of loneliness, financial pressure, and self-doubt, feeling like he always had to prove his abilities without anyone noticing. In his career, every role was a challenge, having to face pressure from Hollywood. Heavy psychological roles like Frank Gallagher in Shameless or Jerry Lundegaard in Fargo that left him exhausted physically and mentally. But William H. Macy did not surrender. He used that pain to forge his will, so that every role became proof of his resilience and passion for the profession, overcoming adversity and changes while still maintaining moral qualities and humanity in life. Before continuing, please hit the subscribe button and press like to remember a person who has overcome all adversities and remained resilient on his artistic journey. Please leave a heart as a small token of gratitude to William H. Macy, a person whose every role contains unseen pain and unyielding will. William H. Macy was born in Miami, Florida, into a hard-working family but with little affection and rarely expressed. His father, William Hall Macy Sr., who once worked as a pilot, was a strict person who put discipline above all, rarely offering words of encouragement or showing love directly. His mother, Lois Overstreet, worked in the insurance industry, busy with work and daily worries, and also had little time to devote fully to her children. In that house, warmth was rare, laughter seldom rang out, and everything demanded independence from a very early age. From when he was little, Macy learned to endure loneliness, take care of himself, and realize that no one could help him overcome all difficulties. Those evenings when he lay in bed staring at the ceiling and wondering if anyone really cared about his feelings left a deep mark on the boy's soul, forming an inner world mature beyond his years. His early school years were not easy at all. In class, Macy felt a clear difference between himself and his peers. While other children were praised, encouraged, or enjoyed small achievements, young William was often overlooked, rarely encouraged, and had to create motivation for himself. Assignments, exams, and academic competitions became heavy pressure, not only because of knowledge requirements, but also because he felt that failure would be proof of his worthlessness in the eyes of his parents and society. Macy recalled times standing on the edge of the playground, watching his peers play and have fun, while he had to focus on studying and perfecting himself. The feeling of isolation and alienation gradually formed. That pressure, though silent, was the fire that forged his will, helping him build an inner strength that would later become a solid foundation for every challenge in his career. The lack of encouragement not only made Macy learn to be independent, but also taught him how to endure failure and turn it into a lesson. Every time he was not praised by teachers, every time he felt he did not belong to the group of friends, became a lesson in patience, in continuing to move forward even when no one saw his efforts. It was in those silent moments that he learned to observe, to deeply feel the emotions of others, and to develop the empathy that his later roles would fully exploit. Besides academic pressure, Macy's childhood years were also tied to the realization that life is never easy, that hard work and perseverance are the only things that can help one survive and grow. He learned to accept injustice, to look at those around him achieving what he wanted without going through the hardships he did, and not to collapse in front of feelings of envy or helplessness. Those experiences, though sad, created a solid character, an endurance that not many children of the same age had. All those difficulties, loneliness, and pressures from family and society shaped a resilient William H. Macy with a deep and quiet inner world. This was the solid foundation for him to step into the challenges of adulthood and his career, where roles not only required acting ability but also tested will, endurance, and the resilience of a person. From those lonely evenings in the study room to the days wandering on small theater stages, Macy learned how to stand firm against all pressure, hold on to faith in himself, and pour all pain and disappointment into creative energy, preparing for the turning points that would shape his career and the image that the whole world would know later. The hardships of childhood were not only a tragedy, but also the fire that forged his will, helping Macy realize that every challenge can be overcome if one is determined and devoted. This is what shaped the personality of an actor who was famous not only for his talent, but also for his resilience, tenacity, and deep inner world, qualities that he would carry throughout 50 years of his career. From little-known roles to classic roles that have become symbols of Hollywood. When entering his teenage years, William H. Macy began to realize that his true passion was not only in surviving the challenges of childhood, but also in storytelling and transforming into characters on stage. From the very first days, Macy found his way to small stages in Chicago, where he began learning every basic technique of acting, from movement and pronunciation to the ability to express subtle emotions. Every small role, even if it was a supporting role or even fleeting appearances, was meticulously cared for by him. But this path was not easy at all. Many times Macy was rejected, ignored in casting sessions, or compared to other actors with more outstanding appearances or more pleasant voices. Each time like that, disappointment piled up. But instead of giving up, he used failure as a tool to train his spirit, learned to accept criticism, and found ways to improve even the smallest details in his performance. Besides learning the craft, Macy also had to face severe financial pressure. Unlike young stars supported by wealthy families, he had to earn a living alongside training and acting. Part-time jobs, from waiting tables to stage assistant work, helped him cover living expenses, but at the same time created significant pressure, as every day he had to balance between work and passion, between the need to make a living and the desire to perfect his art. This pressure made Macy develop discipline and the ability to endure stress early on, learning to keep a clear mind and stay focused even when tired, something that later became an indispensable part of his professional working style. In the process of development, Macy was fortunate to join the Chicago theater community, where he learned from experienced mentors like David Mamet, who not only taught him acting techniques, but also instilled in him a serious attitude toward the profession. From Mamet, Macy learned that acting is not just performing on stage or screen, but also the ability to listen, observe, and live with the character, merging with emotions and stories in a genuine way. These lessons not only helped him develop skills, but also trained his psychology, ability to handle pressure, and patience in the profession, laying a solid foundation for the major roles that would come later. The years in Chicago were a period when Macy constantly challenged himself, from participating in small plays, working as a stage assistant, to attending difficult auditions. Every failure was a lesson. Every role, no matter how small, was an opportunity for him to perfect his skills. His perseverance, constant learning attitude, and ability to handle pressure gradually created the image of an actor with depth, resilience, and full of passion. It was thanks to these years that Macy not only learned how to act authentically, but also learned how to stand firm in the face of challenges, how to turn failure into motivation, and prepare for the big, complex, and memorable roles he would take on throughout a career spanning more than half a century. Looking back, William H. Macy's teenage years were not only a time of honing acting skills, but also a process where he shaped his personality, learned patience, endurance, and cultivated passion. This was the foundation that made him become a prominent, skilled actor, with the ability to immerse deeply in roles, persevere in his profession, and always maintain seriousness and dedication in every role, from his earliest scenes to the classic roles that the whole world remembers. After years of honing skills and building a solid foundation in Chicago, William H. Macy entered the phase that many actors call the first professional challenge period. This was a thorny period, where what was learned on stage was not enough to guarantee success, where Hollywood was harsh and sometimes indifferently overlooked skilled actors like him. Macy received supporting roles in independent films or lesser-known movies, small roles that did not have much screen time but still required perfection in every gesture, glance, and rhythm. Every scene was an opportunity, but also great pressure. If he did not fully embody the role, the audience would not feel the character's authenticity. Colleagues would doubt his ability, and the chance to move forward would become even more difficult. During this time, the pressure to prove himself appeared in every aspect. Macy had to ensure that every role, even small, was thoroughly prepared. Every detail, from the way he walked and talked to facial expressions, had to be perfect. Every scene was a harsh test of skill and patience. While other actors could rely on appearance or standout qualities to attract attention, Macy only had skills, focus, and self-discipline. This pressure sometimes made him doubt himself, wondering if his efforts were enough, whether he could escape supporting roles and move toward bigger opportunities, or would forever remain in the shadows of Hollywood. Financial difficulties continued alongside professional pressure. The small roles did not bring significant income, and outside work was also unstable. Macy had to balance making a living and pursuing his passion, sometimes taking on multiple part-time jobs to cover living expenses. Long days on set, combined with nights doing other side work, left his body tired and his mind stressed. But he never gave up. His persistence in difficult living conditions was the first lesson in endurance and resilience, a quality that later helped him face greater pressure in his career and personal life. Throughout this period, loneliness and self-doubt were always present. Macy watched colleagues being valued and receiving big roles, while he was still struggling with nameless supporting parts. The feeling of being forgotten in a harsh industry sometimes made him want to quit. But instead of surrendering, Macy learned to turn loneliness into motivation. Every day of practice, every scene, no matter how small, was used by him to train his skills and personal character. He learned to control his emotions, restrain disappointment, and direct his energy into self-improvement, preparing for bigger opportunities in the future. Overcoming challenges through persistent effort became Macy's motto. He realized that in Hollywood, talent alone does not bring opportunities. Opportunities only come to those willing to endure challenges and always strive despite failure. Every supporting role, every difficult scene was a lesson, teaching him patience, meticulousness, and not to miss any chance to show his ability. Thanks to this perseverance and serious attitude, Macy gradually built a reputation in the industry, caught the eye of directors, and step by step moved closer to the major roles that would bring him awards and the recognition he deserved. Those first professional challenge years also helped Macy develop self-confidence and personal resilience. He learned to stand firm under pressure, not let failure disorient him, and how to face harsh criticism from colleagues and directors. Every rejection, every role that did not go as planned became a valuable lesson, helping him perfect his skills and train his tenacity. The Simon Payne in the early years of his career shaped a resilient, clear-minded, and profound William H. Macy, ready for bigger opportunities, classic roles, and a journey honoring talent that the whole world would remember in the years ahead. This period also marked the formation of Macy's distinctive professional attitude, serious, dedicated, and persevering. He did not chase the spotlight or fame, but focused on becoming the best actor he could be. The financial pressures, the little-known supporting roles, and the loneliness in the profession had trained him into an artist with subtle skills, deep inner world, and extraordinary endurance. This was the foundation that helped Macy step into major roles, from Fargo to Shameless, where perseverance, personal resilience, and silent pain were transformed into expressive power, making every role vivid, authentic, and deeply moving. It was in these early challenges that William H. Macy learned that the path of acting is not for those who give up easily. Every failure is an opportunity to train skills and character. Every pain can be transformed into genuine emotion on screen, and only perseverance, resilience, and dedication can help a skilled actor stand firm in a harsh Hollywood and achieve the recognition he deserves. Entering the late 1990s, William H. Macy faced a major turning point in his career that later became an indelible mark in film history: the role of Jerry Lundegaard in Fargo. This was a role that not only demanded skill, but also tested his entire ability to immerse himself and his mental endurance. Unlike the supporting roles he had played before, Jerry Lundegaard was the central character of the story, psychologically complex and full of inner contradictions, forcing Macy to delve deeply into emotions he had never publicly explored before. From the very first days of accepting the role, he felt enormous pressure. Every glance, every gesture, every smile had to carry meaning, had to convey the subtle confusion, anxiety, and despair of a person being pushed into a dead end by life and circumstances. Macy spent hours on set, preparing for every scene, listening to every line, experimenting with different ways of performing, and continuously discussing with director Joel Cohen to ensure every detail accurately reflected the character's psychology. The pressure came not only from acting, but also from the fact that all eyes from audiences and critics were focused on him. A successful role could completely change an actor's career, and Macy was fully aware that this was an opportunity to prove himself. But at the same time, it was the greatest challenge he had ever faced. Every shooting day was a mental battle. He had to maintain the balance between genuine emotion and self-control, avoiding letting personal feelings dominate the character, while keeping a focused and professional demeanor. When the film was released, the response from critics and audiences exceeded all expectations. Macy received a nomination for the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor, proof of his outstanding talent and absolute dedication to the profession. This was the first time he became a widely recognized name in Hollywood, stepping out of small supporting roles and fleeting scenes to become an actor acknowledged by the entire film industry. This change meant he had to face entirely new pressure. From then on, every role would be evaluated under the gaze of audiences. Every screen appearance would be compared to Jerry Lundegaard, and every comment from the press or colleagues could directly affect his reputation and career. The behind-the-scenes of Fargo was a stressful but highly valuable experience for Macy. Every shooting day stretched for hours. Sometimes he had to perform the same scene multiple times to achieve the most accurate emotion, or try different variations of the same line to find the version that best suited the character's psychology. Patience, the ability to handle pressure, and a serious work ethic were trained to near perfection. Macy learned to turn pressure into creative energy, turn the fear of failure into motivation to experiment, to delve deeper into the character's psychology, and to make every scene a genuine experience that made audiences empathize and believe in the existence of Jerry Lundegaard. Besides his career, this role also placed Macy in personal emotional challenges. He had to confront the dark corners of human psychology, feelings of despair, helplessness, and the fear of being trapped in the circumstances the character experienced. Deep immersion required him to find similar experiences within himself, even if only emotions recalled from his lonely childhood or early failures, and transform them into acting energy. This inner turmoil sometimes left him mentally exhausted, but at the same time it created depth for the character and for Macy himself as an artist. The victory from Fargo brought Macy a feeling of both happiness and pressure. He knew that this success not only opened new opportunities, but also set higher demands. Every future role had to be seriously prepared, had to have depth and psychological weight, so as not to disappoint audiences and not to diminish the value of the reputation he had just built. However, from that pressure and challenge, Macy drew lessons about patience, perseverance, and the ability to maintain balance between emotion and work, qualities that would become characteristic throughout his entire career. The role of Jerry Lundegaard was not only a turning point in his career, but also proof of the ability to turn personal pain and experiences into artistic strength. From supporting roles, from small scenes in lesser-known films, Macy had learned to handle pressure, forge his will, and develop subtle acting skills. The success from Fargo was the result of persistent effort over many years, from a childhood lacking affection, teenage years honing skills, to the first professional challenges. This was exactly the starting point for a journey in which William H.O. Macy would continue to turn challenges into strength, loneliness into genuine emotion, and every role into proof of the resilience, perseverance, and professional ethics of a truly skilled Hollywood legend. After the resounding success with the role of Jerry Lundegaard in Fargo, William H. Macy entered a flourishing period in his career, where he continuously chose roles that not only demanded acting skills but also challenged emotional depth. Unlike many other stars seeking leading or glamorous roles, Macy gravitated toward complex, multi-layered characters, from tragedy to comedy, from intense psychological tension to profound everyday moments. In Boogie Nights, he took on a small role that required conveying a feeling that was both tense and subtle, where every glance and every gesture contained its own story. In Magnolia, the role of a man struggling with feelings of disappointment, guilt, and loneliness required him to fully exploit those innermost emotions, making audiences both empathize and feel pity. Every role Macy accepted was not only an opportunity to shine, but also a test of consistency in acting. He had to maintain authenticity in every scene, sometimes having to repeat a heavy psychological segment many times, while keeping a balance between the character's emotions and self-control. This pressure came not only from directors or audiences, but also from his own colleagues, the actors around him, who continuously challenged his ability to immerse himself. Macy understood that in the fiercely competitive environment of Hollywood, a failed role or an unconvincing scene could affect the next opportunity, so he always prepared thoroughly and focused absolutely on every part. In particular, Macy's roles during this time were often not heavily promoted or created great commercial buzz, but they left quiet success, reinforcing his reputation and recognition within the professional circle. The small but deep roles in Magnolia or The Cooler not only demonstrated his diverse acting ability, but also proved he could immerse himself in every genre, from heartbreaking tragedy to subtle humor. This diversity helped Macy affirm his position as a skilled actor who did not chase fame or fleeting spotlight, but focused on quality and authenticity in every role. In this period, every success, no matter how small, became an important step for Macy to build a solid image in the industry. He learned how to balance between maintaining his personal identity and meeting the director's requirements, between fully expressing emotions and maintaining the rhythm of the story. His perseverance and dedication to the profession made him become a model of acting ethics, where every scene, every segment, was invested with maximum effort and heart by him. Although not always remembered by the general audience, these roles helped Macy build a sustainable foundation, creating the premise for later classic roles, in which subtlety, multidimensionality, and the ability to convey emotions were the factors that made audiences and colleagues truly appreciate. Continuous pressure, fierce competition, and a need to prove his ability helped Macy train his patience and personal resilience. He learned how to keep a clear mind amid tense scenes, maintain energy and focus for every small detail. Each experience in Boogie Nights, Magnolia, The Cooler, or other independent films became a valuable lesson, helping him develop subtle acting skills and the ability to control emotions. These challenging roles were not only opportunities for Macy to showcase his ability, but also the way he faced the fear of failure, learned to turn pressure into motivation, and step by step affirmed himself in the fiercely competitive environment of Hollywood. Besides that, the flourishing career also brought Macy valuable behind-the-scenes experiences, where he learned how to interact with colleagues, how to maintain professionalism during tense shooting sessions, and how to protect his own emotions in the face of work and media pressure. Every role, big or small, was viewed by him as an opportunity to train, explore the depth of the character, and create a lasting impact in the hearts of audiences. This success did not come from luck or fleeting glamour, but from perseverance, determination, and the ability to turn challenges and silent pain into creative energy, proving the talent and professional ethics of William H. Macy. This period marked the formation of a skilled artist's identity, where Macy affirmed that sustainable success does not rely on showiness or glamorous lights, but on continuous effort, patience, and the ability to turn suffering, pressure, and professional challenges into genuine emotions on screen, thereby building a solid career and an admirable artistic legacy. William H. Macy entered the middle years of his career with a solid position in Hollywood. But his personal life was not at all peaceful and easy. In 1997, he married Felicity Huffman, who accompanied him on every stage of his career and personal life. Two daughters were born in the following years, bringing joy and meaning to Macy's life, but at the same time placing him in a new role, both as a father and a husband, having to balance between family responsibilities and unrelenting professional pressure. In the eyes of the public, Macy and Huffman's marriage was seen as a model of sustainability amid Hollywood full of temptations and storms. But inside, there were mental challenges that only those involved truly understood. Their family life faced the greatest challenge in 2019 when Felicity Huffman was involved in the American college admissions scandal, a scandal that shocked the media and attracted global attention. The incident caused the media to constantly scrutinize the family's private life, comment, evaluate, and even put pressure on Macy and his daughters. Facing these waves of public opinion, Macy maintained extraordinary calm. He became a solid support for his wife, shielding his children from curious eyes and negative comments from the public. While the media and the public gossiped, Macy quietly stood by his family, protecting their image and not letting the incident shake his career or the mental stability of his children. Besides protecting his family, Macy had to learn how to balance between his career and personal life, roles that required high psychological and mental strength, like Frank Gallagher in Shameless or roles in Fargo, Magnolia continued. But now he had to face a new responsibility, both completing the roles with maximum quality and ensuring stability for his wife and children in difficult times. This balance was not simple. It required him to restrain personal emotions, control pressure from the public, and keep himself always alert and focused on every scene. Macy learned to utilize the very perseverance and patience formed from his childhood and early professional challenges to overcome pressure, maintain professionalism at work, and stability in the family. Macy's resilience in this period became clear proof of his ability to endure and personal fortitude. Even though he had to face intense media pressure, criticism from audiences, and non-stop gossip about his private life, he still maintained his role as an exemplary husband and father, ensuring his children were not affected by the scandal. This persistence was shown not only through keeping the family safe, but also through the way he continued to contribute to the profession, completing challenging roles with high quality, proving that pressure from private life could not weaken his will or ability. In those long nights, after the children had gone to sleep, Macy often told himself that his responsibility was not only as an actor, but also as the one who stood firm for the family. He utilized every skill, patience, and endurance he had learned over many years to guide the family through the scandal and mental storms. Without showiness, without going to the press, but that perseverance and calmness helped maintain the family's solidity, protect the children from media curiosity, and guide them to develop in a safe environment. These personal challenges, although full of pressure and tragedy, were also opportunities for Macy to show the depth of his character. He was not only a skilled actor with admirable skills on screen, but also a man who knew how to stand firm in the face of storms, knew how to protect his loved ones, and balance between family responsibilities and his profession. The personal tragedy and marriage of his were not only challenges, but also proof of resilience, perseverance, and the ability to face adversity with calmness, wisdom, and an open heart. Qualities that helped William H. Macy become a true legend, not only on screen, but also in his real life. The role of Frank Gallagher in Shameless became one of the most important milestones in William H. Macy's career, not only because of the popularity of the series, but also because of the physical and mental challenges this role posed. Frank was the image of an addicted, selfish, violent father, but full of contradictions. A character living in deadlock and pain, requiring Macy to delve deeply into the dark corners of human psychology. From the very first scenes, he realized that to convey Frank's authenticity, he had to fully immerse himself, had to live with the emotions the character experienced, from despair, anger, guilt, to moments of weakness and pity. The scenes in Shameless were not simple at all. A long workday on set meant hours of intense acting, constantly having to maintain emotional rhythm, having to make sure every line, every glance, every gesture accurately reflected the character's inner world. Many scenes required him to combine physical action with psychological expression, sometimes having to endure exhaustion both physically and mentally. Macy had to run through chaotic scenes, collide with co-stars, portray drunkenness, arguments, but at the same time keep the character authentic, without turning him into an overly humorous or exaggerated figure. This absolute focus made every scene a challenge, where he had to push beyond his own limits, both in strength and emotion. Not only a professional challenge, the role of Frank Gallagher also forced Macy to empathize deeply with the character, to experience the inner pain that Frank had to endure. He recalled his childhood lacking affection, the years struggling with pressure and loneliness, and used those personal experiences to understand and immerse himself. This empathy helped Frank become vivid and authentic, making audiences both hate and pity, both laugh and feel heartache at the character's actions and decisions. Every scene became an inner journey, where Macy had to balance emotions to express Frank's complexity, keeping the humor while reflecting the pain and inner tragedy. Besides the challenges on set, Macy's personal life was also scrutinized during this period. With his increasing fame, public and media attention focused not only on the roles, but also followed every step, every personal action of his. This pressure added another layer of mental challenge, as he had to protect his family's privacy while maintaining a professional image on screen. During many shooting sessions, Macy had to stay calm, restrain personal emotions, while fully conveying Frank's feelings, which required him to have extremely subtle self-control skills. The process of acting the role of Frank also became an opportunity for Macy to further develop his professional skills. Every difficult scene, every shooting session lasting for hours, was a lesson on how to maintain emotions, how to coordinate with co-stars, how to handle unexpected situations on set. He learned how to turn pressure into creative energy, learned how to train patience, the ability to endure, and learned how to keep the role always authentic, even when the situation became tense or there was chaos around. These experiences not only helped him perfect Frank Gallagher, but also equipped him with skills to deal with complex psychological roles in the future. The role of Frank Gallagher also marked a turning point in the way Macy viewed his profession and personal life. He realized that fame comes with responsibility and pressure, and to survive, it is necessary to maintain balance between work and personal life, between emotions and self-control. Thanks to that, he developed resilience, perseverance, and the ability to endure pressure without losing his artistic essence. The role of Frank was not only proof of his multidimensional acting ability, but also a place to express maturity, perseverance, and professional ethics of William H. Macy, making him become a symbol not only of talent, but also of the resilience and deep inner world of a skilled actor. The years with Frank Gallagher helped Macy affirm that mental and physical challenges on screen can turn into strength, and every pain, every pressure can be transformed into genuine emotion, strongly impacting audiences. This was the foundation that helped him continue to conquer challenging roles later, from classic films to long-running television projects, where every scene demanded dedication, patience, and the ability to endure to the maximum. Frank Gallagher is living proof of the perseverance, the ability to overcome adversity, and the relentless fighting spirit of William H. Macy, an actor whose every role contains heart and his own life story. After affirming his talent and inner strength through the role of Frank Gallagher, William H. Macy entered a stage that few could imagine. More than 50 years of perseverance in the harsh film and television industry. His schedule was so packed that there were weeks when every day was a shooting day, from early morning until late at night, sometimes exceeding the normal endurance of a person. Maintaining the important role in Shameless required him to constantly immerse himself, keep emotions fully intact through every scene, despite fatigue, physical pressure, and the harshness of the filming environment. This was a job not for those lacking discipline or easily shaken by pressure. Throughout his career, Macy not only had to face ordinary professional challenges, but also had to endure professional tragedies in many forms, criticisms from critics, harsh comparisons by audiences with other actors, or stories in the press about big Hollywood roles could all make him feel judged and pressured. However, instead of letting that discourage him, Macy used that pressure to strengthen his determination, prove his own ability through every scene and every role. He understood that in a fiercely competitive environment, only perseverance, dedication, and the ability to maintain performance could help a skilled actor survive and be recognized. Surviving more than half a century in the acting profession also meant that Macy had to face countless difficult roles, high demands on both physical and psychological aspects, along with challenging scenes and time pressure. Every role was a new challenge. Having to portray subtle emotions, react authentically to complex situations, and sometimes carry the entire weight of the story on his shoulders. In heavy psychological roles, like Frank Gallagher, he had to keep emotions fully intact for many continuous weeks of shooting, learning how to restrain himself so that personal emotions did not dominate, while accurately conveying the pain, loneliness, and inner conflicts of the character. Audiences saw a vivid Frank Gallagher on screen, but no one realized the moments of exhaustion, tension, and inner struggle that Macy had to endure behind the scenes. To keep his professional spirit strong through each year, Macy built clear principles of living and working for himself, respecting the director, colleagues, and himself, preparing thoroughly before every scene, and always focusing absolutely on the role. He learned how to transform pressure into creative energy, using fatigue, disappointment, and even personal life difficulties as material to add more depth to the character. These continuous challenging years trained Macy in the ability to maintain focus and mental energy, while helping him develop discipline and perseverance that not many actors possess. Macy's perseverance was also shown in his ability to adapt to many different working environments, from independent films, theater stages, to long-running television projects. Each context had its own pressure. Independent films often lacked finances and time. Theater stages demanded absolute focus every night, while long-series television required continuity and consistency over many weeks and months. Macy always found ways to maintain his performance and acting quality, despite challenges in physical strength, psychological pressure, and the strictness of the public. More than half a century of perseverance on screen also meant that William H. Macy became a symbol of professional ethics and dedication. He did not choose the glamorous path, did not chase scandals or temporary fame, but focused on the quality of every role, every scene, and honesty in art. Every role was an opportunity for him to affirm himself, to prove that a skilled actor does not need to show off, but can still create a deep impression in the hearts of audiences and the professional circle. It was this resilience, perseverance, and dedication in the profession that helped Macy overcome all pressure, from criticisms, harsh comparisons by audiences, to emotionally and physically heavy roles. Those years not only strengthened his reputation and ability, but also created the image of a true artist, a person who stands firm in the face of adversity, ready to sacrifice himself for art, and dedicate himself fully to audiences. Thanks to this perseverance, William H. Macy became a living legend, proof of the value of patience, professional ethics, and dedication to the craft that any actor must admire. After more than half a century of perseverance in the entertainment industry, William H. Macy found peace in the family home, where he, together with his wife Felicity Huffman and 2 daughters, built a stable and warm life after the incidents and media pressure. The previous years, his wife's college admissions scandal had once put his family in the spotlight of public opinion, but Macy did not let this matter disrupt the foundation of happiness they had built together. He quietly protected his children, shielding them from curious eyes, criticisms, and public pressure, while still maintaining balance with his busy acting career, proving his ability to control emotions and spirit in all circumstances. In the eyes of his children, Macy was the image of a devoted, patient father who was always ready to listen. He not only taught his children how to face difficulties in life, but also passed on important values about honesty, perseverance, and the spirit of independence. Through each story, each everyday experience, he learned how to turn the lessons from his own challenging childhood into living principles for his children. Every evening, after everyone had rested, Macy often sat and told his children about the difficulties and challenges he had experienced, the times he was rejected in his career, the pressures and failures that no one saw, so that his children would understand that life is never easy, but patience and effort will help overcome all adversity. Macy's dedication also shows in his role as a husband, always accompanying and supporting Felicity Huffman in every stage. He learned how to balance between his career and personal life, not letting the spotlight or work pressure dominate the relationship. In difficult times when the media and public opinion scrutinized, Macy stood firmly by his wife, protecting the happiness and privacy of the family. The image of a devoted husband who knows how to listen and accompany his wife through every challenge has become clear proof of his resilience and sense of responsibility off-screen. For Macy, family is not only a place to rest after stressful shooting days, but also a spiritual lifeline where he finds peace and strength to continue contributing. From evenings eating meals together and chatting, to weekends taking the children to school and playing, all create a warm space where family members can share, learn, and grow in love. It is thanks to this loving and stable family environment that Macy can keep his spirits strong, balance between professional pressure and personal life, and create a foundation for the next roles full of emotional and psychological weight. In the eyes of audiences, William H. Macy is a skilled actor, but in the eyes of his family, he is an exemplary father and husband, always ready to sacrifice time, energy, and emotions to protect the family home. His perseverance in maintaining family happiness, even when facing scandals or media pressure, proves his inner strength and rare dedication. Through these years, Macy not only taught his children skills and ethics, but also clearly demonstrated the value of affection in life. That family, love, and connection are the strength that helps people overcome all challenges, adversities, and continue to stand firm in every storm. The peaceful years after the incident became an important period where William H. Macy combined his persistent career with family responsibilities, proving that happiness is not only the light of personal success, but also the solidity of relationships, of hearts that are protected and nurtured. This is exactly the foundation for him to continue developing his career and honoring human values, perseverance, dedication, and ethics that audiences around the world have admired and continue to admire. William H. Macy is living proof of an acting career that does not rely on glamour or scandals, but on real talent and extraordinary perseverance. For more than 50 years dedicated to the seventh art, he has left a deep impression in the hearts of audiences and professionals. The awards he has won are not only rewards for his skills, but also recognition for his serious attitude and dedication to the profession. The 2 Emmy Awards that Macy received for his roles in television and the 4 SAG Awards are clear proof of his excellent ability to immerse in roles, empathy, and the inner depth he brings to each character. In addition, the nomination for the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor for the role of Jerry Lundegaard in Fargo elevated his name to a new level, making everyone realize that this is a skilled, reliable actor who cannot be overshadowed by Hollywood's temporary spotlight. Macy not only left his mark through awards, but also through his long-lasting influence on young generations of actors. He became a model of how to work in the profession, patient, persevering, ready to accept challenges, and never missing an opportunity to learn. Young actors learn from him the ability to turn pressure, failure, and difficulties into creative energy, the way to immerse deeply in roles, and to maintain moral qualities in a harsh environment. Macy's professionalism and serious work ethic have inspired many people, from newcomers to experienced colleagues, showing that sustainable success does not come from fame or fake glamour, but from the ability to contribute non-stop and dedication to art. Macy's roles, from small supporting scenes in independent films to classic roles like Frank Gallagher in Shameless, all show that he can balance between authenticity and subtle acting technique. The diversity of roles, from tragedy to comedy, from intense psychological tension to profound everyday moments, proves that his career has never been repetitive or monotonous. Every character that Macy takes on carries its own mark, developed meticulously and conveyed authentically, making audiences not only see but also feel the pain, joy, and complex inner world of the character. An important part of Macy's legacy is the way he preserves sustainable artistic values. In an era of Hollywood full of controversies, where scandals and temporary glamour often dominate, Macy still follows his own path, not trading qualities or ethics for fame. He persistently works, keeps every role perfect, and dedicates himself fully to every scene. This is the reason he becomes a model of a skilled actor, where skills, perseverance, and professional ethics are placed first. And this creates a sustainable legacy that transcends time and changes in the entertainment industry. Off-screen, Macy's influence is also felt through his activities in the artistic community. He actively participates in training, guiding and supporting young actors, sharing experiences and lessons on how to maintain perseverance, face failure, and build subtle acting skills. This dedication not only helps improve the artistic quality of Hollywood, but also affirms Macy's role as a true inspiration, not only through personal achievements but also through the ability to nurture the next generation. For more than 50 years of contribution, William H. Macy not only proves the value of persistence and perseverance, but also affirms that true art always requires dedication, honesty, and a spirit of continuous learning. From silent supporting roles to classic characters remembered by the whole world, every scene is proof of his perseverance, superior skills, and professional ethics. This has created a solid artistic legacy, where the name William H. Macy is not only a symbol of talent, but also a model of how to live and work in the profession, inspiring all young actors and film-loving audiences around the world. In the eyes of the public and colleagues, William H. Macy is the image of a skilled, patient, and persevering artist. Every award, every role, and every positive feedback from audiences is proof of his non-stop dedication. But more important than all, it is the serious work attitude, the perseverance in facing professional pressure, and the ability to turn pain and challenges in private life into new creative motivation that make up the greatness and sustainable value in William H. Macy's career, leaving a legacy that Hollywood and audiences will never forget. William H. Macy is not only respected for his outstanding acting ability, but also for the professional discipline and ethics he has maintained throughout more than 50 years of activity in Hollywood. From his very first roles on Chicago stages, Macy understood that success does not only come from innate talent, but also from thorough preparation, hard practice, and the ability to focus absolutely. Before every scene, he spends time studying the script, analyzing the character, experimenting with different ways of expression, and training every detail from gestures and glances to the rhythm of the dialogue. No scene is simple for him, because every role is an opportunity to prove the dedication and professional discipline of a skilled actor. Macy is also famous for his ability to keep his private life secret and stay away from negative media. He does not seek scandals or temporary fame to polish his name. Even when his wife, Felicity Huffman, was involved in the college admission scandal in 2019, Macy still remained calm, did not speak out in the media, and focused on protecting his family as well as his acting career. Audiences only see a serious, persevering artist on screen, but they do not know that behind it are the silent efforts to maintain balance between private life and work, between stage lights and personal pressure. One of the important factors that makes Macy different is the way he chooses roles with depth, always prioritizing complex characters that challenge emotions and skills, instead of chasing glamour or roles that easily attract attention. From Jerry Lundegaard in Fargo to Frank Gallagher in Shameless, his roles all demand maximum exploitation of acting ability and empathy with the character. Macy does not choose simple, cute, or glamorous roles to make an impression. He seeks challenges to train his skills and explore the psychological depth of human beings, creating a clear difference between a skilled actor and stars who are only famous for their glamorous image. Throughout his career, Macy always maintains a humble attitude and works persistently. Even though he has received many awards, fame, and recognition from audiences and professionals, he still considers every role a new learning opportunity, every scene a challenge that needs focus and seriousness. This humility allows him to accept feedback, improve his skills, and maintain high acting quality without being dominated by complacency or fame. This is why Macy can maintain stable performance over many decades, from small supporting roles to classic roles in long-running television projects. Macy's professional discipline and ethics are also shown through the way he treats colleagues and the working environment. He always respects the director, co-stars, and every member of the film crew, never letting himself become a burden or cause conflict. Macy believes that acting is not only about expressing oneself, but also about harmonious collaboration with the team to create a complete artistic product. This dedication makes him a model for many young actors, proving that perseverance and professional ethics are the foundation to build a solid and long-lasting career. William H. Macy is also living proof of the value of ethics in the acting profession, as he always puts artistic quality above all other factors. He is not tempted by temporary fame, does not show off his personal image on social media or in the media, and always maintains the principle of honesty in the profession. Every role, every scene is the result of thorough preparation, dedication, and seriousness, creating vivid, authentic, and long-lasting works. This is the factor that helps Macy stand out from glamorous stars who lack depth, and affirms his position as a skilled, persevering, and respected actor in the hearts of audiences and colleagues. William H. Macy is not only a talented actor, but also a symbol of professional discipline and ethics in Hollywood. He proves that sustainable success does not come from luck or scandals, but from thorough preparation, a persevering spirit, a humble attitude, and the ability to uphold professional principles. These qualities not only make up Macy's brilliant career, but also create a long-lasting artistic legacy, inspiring the next generation of actors about perseverance, dedication, and ethical values in the profession. When William H. Macy enters his later years, the silent pains he has carried throughout his professional life seem not to diminish at all, but only transform in a more subtle and profound way. The heavy psychological roles, especially the role of Frank Gallagher in Shameless, require him to delve deeply into layers of emotions, both empathizing with the character and maintaining balance in expression. Through every scene, he has to endure enormous mental pressure as physical fatigue and psychological stress pile up from the dense shooting schedule. Every tense psychological scene requires him to maintain continuous emotion, sometimes having to repeat segments many times until achieving maximum authenticity, causing his body and mind to stretch to the point of exhaustion. Not only professional pressure, Macy's mental health also faces challenges over time. The years in front of the camera, facing audiences, colleagues, and the media, while having to hide his private life, always create a mental pressure that few can see. He often experiences sleepless nights, worrying about roles, anxiety about handling scenes, or even pressure from public comments and comparisons. All of this forms a silent stress that seeps into every moment of life. But Macy does not let it dominate or lose his creative spirit. He learns to accept those challenges in silence, training himself to maintain alertness, patience, and determination in his work. Every pain, even silent, becomes an opportunity for Macy to develop life and professional skills. He learns to restrain emotions, train his ability to focus, and nurture perseverance to face all difficulties, from scenes lasting for hours to facing complex psychological pressures. He turns stress into material for acting, helping each role become more authentic and profound. Those silent pains are not only challenges, but also tools to train his will, turning every difficult experience into a lesson to perfect professional skills, spirit, and personal resilience. Throughout his career, Macy always maintains perseverance despite difficulties. The years under the stage lights, every small role or leading role is cared for by him to the maximum, regardless of fame or public pressure. He knows that perseverance is not only about fully embodying the role, but also about maintaining a professional attitude, upholding principles, and dedicating himself to every scene. Even when his mental health is stressed, he still continues working, maintaining excellence in every role, proving his superior ability to handle pressure and extraordinary will. These years are also when Macy shows the difference between a skilled actor and a showy star. He does not need glamour or controversy to affirm his position. Instead, he chooses the way of silence, hard work, dedication to the profession, and maintaining professional ethics. Colleagues, audiences, and young people following his career all realize that Macy's real strength lies in the ability to turn silent pains, pressures, and challenges into creative motivation, helping him maintain performance and acting quality for more than 5 decades. Through those silent pains, William H. Macy proves that perseverance, extraordinary will, and the ability to endure pressure are the deciding factors for a sustainable career. The challenges he has gone through not only help him develop professional skills, but also train his inner world, the ability to control emotions and spirit. turning personal tragedies into creative energy. This is exactly why every role of Macy, whether supporting scenes or classic characters, contains depth, genuine emotion, and the ability to strongly impact viewers, affirming his value and legacy as an unmatched skilled actor. Those silent pains, although not showy, have contributed to training William H. Macy into an excellent, persevering, patient, and rich inner-world artist, ready to face all challenges and pressures, turning difficulties into strength and continuing to inspire audiences and young generations of actors. William H. Macy, after more than 50 years of non-stop contribution to art, has become a living symbol of Hollywood, not only thanks to his subtle acting ability, but also thanks to the professional ethical values and perseverance he has shown throughout his journey. For young actors, Macy is the ideal model, a proof that perseverance, dedication, and thorough preparation are always the path to sustainable success, despite the adversities that the profession and life bring. His diverse roles, from Fargo, Magnolia, The Cooler to Shameless, all bring valuable lessons about how to immerse in roles, explore character depth, and maintain authenticity in acting, helping young actors learn about skills, discipline, and a serious attitude toward the profession. Macy is not only a role model in the profession, but also a source of inspiration for audiences who love theater and television. Audiences witness how he turns personal experiences, challenges, and silent pressures into expressive energy on screen, making characters vivid and deep. His dedication and perseverance remind everyone that true art is not only performance, but also the ability to exploit the inner world, turning suffering and experiences into emotions conveyed to viewers. Those who have followed Macy from independent films to long-running television projects all realize that he is a model of patience and effort, a proof that artistic value does not need to come with scandals or fake glamour. In the eyes of professionals and colleagues, William H. Macy is respected as a truly skilled actor who always respects the profession, his colleagues, and every role. He does not seek temporary fame or roles that easily attract attention, but focuses on characters with depth that challenge skills and emotions. This attitude has created the difference between Macy and many other Hollywood stars, making him a symbol of professional ethics where perseverance, the spirit of learning, and dedication are placed first. The legacy that Macy leaves is not only in the awards, roles, or fame, but also in the ability to inspire audiences and the new generation of actors. Young people learn from him how to maintain resilience, patience in the face of difficulties, and turn professional challenges into opportunities to develop skills and character. Audiences also learn from Macy the meaning of preserving family, cherishing loved ones, and maintaining balance between personal life and work. These lessons make his career more comprehensive, not just a series of roles or awards, but also a model of how to live, how to work in the profession, and how to face adversity. Besides influencing actors and audiences, Macy also leaves his mark in the artistic community through participating in teaching, sharing experiences, and supporting young actors. He not only teaches acting techniques, but also emphasizes the importance of discipline, professional ethics, and the ability to endure pressure. These values help improve the artistic quality of Hollywood, while reinforcing Macy's image as a living symbol of perseverance, resilience, and dedication. William H. Macy is also proof that true artistic value is not only measured by awards or revenue, but also by the way an actor overcomes challenges, maintains qualities, and inspires others. Every role, from supporting scenes to classic characters, reflects his ability to immerse in roles, emotional depth, and perseverance in the profession. This is why audiences and colleagues not only remember Macy for his roles, but also admire the way he faces life, professional pressure, and personal incidents. From the audience's perspective, Macy is not only an actor, but also a spiritual guide, a person who inspires patience, professional ethics, and family affection. The image of him standing firm amid personal incidents, overcoming scandals, and still maintaining excellent acting quality is clear proof of his inner strength and extraordinary will. The legacy Macy leaves is therefore not only the films and awards, but also lessons about perseverance, ethics, and dedication to art, a long-lasting source of inspiration for young actors and audiences around the world. Throughout his career, William H. Macy proves that a skilled actor does not need glamour or controversy to survive, but needs perseverance, resilience, dedication, and maintaining qualities, both on screen and in personal life. These values have made him a symbol of a truly skilled Hollywood actor whose legacy and influence still echo in the film industry and in the hearts of audiences who love theater and television. William H. Macy, after 76 years of living and contributing, is living proof of a life of perseverance, dedication, and full of inspiration, where every effort, every challenge is transformed into lessons and strength to continue moving forward. Looking back at his journey, from the childhood years lacking affection and encouragement to the teenage days tirelessly on Chicago stages, then the early career years full of challenges with small supporting roles, we see a person who never gives up. He had to face loneliness, academic pressure, and self-doubt. But those difficulties trained his will and resilient character, creating a solid foundation to enter an artistic journey spanning more than half a century. Macy's career is a series of non-stop efforts, from supporting roles, scenes that few notice, to classic characters like Jerry Lundegaard in Fargo and Frank Gallagher in Shameless. Every role is proof of authentic acting ability, inner depth, and absolute dedication to the profession. He does not seek glamour or temporary fame, but focuses on training skills, deep immersion in roles, and conveying genuine emotions to audiences. The Emmy Awards, SAG Awards, and Oscar nomination he achieved are only well-deserved rewards for that perseverance and effort. But the real value lies in the way Macy approaches work, maintains professional ethics, and always puts artistic quality above everything else. Family is where Macy finds peace and inner strength to face all challenges. He has always been a devoted father, a supportive husband who accompanies his wife through personal incidents, including Felicity Huffman's college admissions scandal and the accompanying media pressure. Macy does not let those pressures break the family or affect his children. He stays calm, protects his children, and safeguards his family home. From the way he teaches his children about perseverance, honesty, and dedication, audiences can see that the value of affection and family ethics is more important than any achievement or fame on screen. Family happiness is not only a spiritual lifeline, but also the strength for him to continue creating and contributing to the profession. The silent pains, professional pressures, and personal challenges that Macy has gone through never make him surrender. He learns to accept, face, and turn them into creative energy. Every scene, every role is an opportunity to train skills, develop personal resilience, and explore emotional depth. That resilience, perseverance, and ability to endure pressure make William H. Macy a model for those who want to pursue true art. That to achieve real value, people need to face failure, challenges, and pain, but still maintain qualities and honesty. Macy has also strongly inspired an entire generation of young actors and audiences who love film and theater. Newcomers to the profession learn from him that patience, perseverance, and a sense of responsibility are necessary values to survive in a fiercely competitive environment like Hollywood. Audiences also learn lessons about perseverance, how to maintain balance between work and family, and the value of affection, ethics, and dedication in everything. Macy's authentic, multi-dimensional roles not only entertain but also educate and inspire, making viewers empathize, reflect, and appreciate the silent efforts he devotes to the profession and family. Throughout 76 years, William H. Macy has proven that human value is more important than any achievement or temporary glamour. He is proof of the power of will, perseverance, and dedication to the craft, and shows that no matter what adversity or incident, people can still stand firm, grow, and inspire those around them. Every role, every scene, and every challenge in personal life contributes to the image of a skilled, persevering, and compassionate artist. William H. Macy is not only a respected actor, he is a symbol of patience, dedication, and the ability to overcome adversity, as well as a model of the value of family, professional ethics, and honesty. The lessons he conveys, that effort, perseverance, and family affection are more important than temporary glamour. That challenges and failure can turn into strength and inspiration, all bring profound impact, especially to American audiences, where the spirit of perseverance and respect for human values is always highly valued. The journey of William H. Macy is proof that challenges, incidents, and silent pains are not only tests, but also material to train will, hone skills, and affirm human value. From a childhood lacking affection through difficult career years to marriage and personal life full of challenges, Macy still stands firm, protects his family, upholds professional ethics, and continues to contribute to art. This is the reason he is not only remembered as an excellent actor, but also as a symbol of resilience, perseverance, and compassion. A model that inspires audiences and the next generation of actors, so that everyone understands that the real value of a person lies in will, dedication, and the affection they give to the profession and their loved ones. William H. Macy is living proof of a resilient, persevering, and dedicated person to art. But looking deeply into his life, no one can fail to feel compassion for the silent challenges he has gone through. A childhood lacking encouragement, having to become independent from a young age, created a deep soul, but also lonely and under a lot of pressure. The teenage years tirelessly on Chicago stages, early small roles, continuous rejections, and prolonged financial difficulties make anyone empathize with his loneliness and silent efforts. When stepping into Hollywood, although roles like Jerry Lundegaard in Fargo and Frank Gallagher in Shameless brought fame and awards like Emmys, SAG Awards, and an Oscar nomination, he still had to face heavy psychological pressure, maintain authenticity in acting, and endure media scrutiny about his family life. The tense scenes, emotionally heavy roles, and the responsibility to protect the family home when his wife was involved in the college admissions scandal have shown that Macy is not only an excellent artist, but also a devoted father and husband. Through the entire journey, Macy shows that perseverance, professional ethics, and the ability to turn pain into creative motivation are the foundation for long-term success, rising above temporary glamour. This is a valuable lesson for the American people. No matter the difficult circumstances or life challenges, perseverance, a sense of responsibility, and honesty will help people stand firm and create sustainable value. Specific details like Macy having to complete complex roles while protecting his family from the media, or tense scenes that left him exhausted physically and mentally, all emphasize that success does not come from luck, but from effort, the ability to handle pressure, and dedication to responsibilities. The life of William H. Macy is a reminder that real value does not lie in glamour, but in the way people overcome adversity, maintain qualities, and inspire those around them. Please hit the subscribe button and press like to remember and honor William H. Macy together, a person who has turned every challenge and adversity into extraordinary strength on screen and in real life. Thank you for following. See you in the next video to explore more inspiring and meaningful stories about Hollywood legends.